Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. I'm Bunnies and Bunnies, and today we're going to be doing a vlog kind of style video. I'm going to be talking about sketching actually, but I kind of want to show off my little area here. This is where the magic happens. This is where the sketching happens. And something that I really like to do after I come home from work is actually to just sit down, watch some weird stuff on YouTube, and just sketch away. I do all of my sketching here. Let's take a closer look. So I've got these soft boxes up because I want to record the video. My space is a little bit dirty, you can see. I've got my comfy ergonomic chair, and then I've got my entire desk here, which is quite big and quite long. So there's a lot of space for all kinds of my mess that I create. My desk is all super messy, but you should have seen it last week. Last week was insane. So we have here my sort of desk area. I live in a very small apartment, so it's kind of hard to find space for everything. But we bought this shelf from IKEA as well, which has a lot of drawers. And in these drawers, I do keep my sketchbooks. So you can see there's a couple here already, but I have them in other locations, like in my bedroom, for example. But ideally, I want to keep everything in here. So I have just regular sketchbooks for drawing very quickly if I want to bring them. So I've got these smaller versions of the sketchbooks, and I like to just carry this in my bag and basically just sketch. Oh, that's so cute. Basically just sketch when I'm on the go. Now these are some of my older drawings. You'll see. They kind of look a little bit funny, but you'll see that I drew a lot of rabbits, and back in the day that's all I drew was rabbits. And I also have one for watercolor, which is quite nice. And the watercolor one is actually kind of difficult to draw with because the paper is quite textured, and it will wrinkle a lot, and it's a bit harder to control because it's actually in a book. But these drawings are actually quite old, and you can see that I wasn't very good at it. Just pretty interesting to look back on it and see the sort of things that you used to draw. Like, look how horrible this looks. This looks really, really bad. He kind of looks like that right here, like almost, but you can see the proportions are completely wrong. And also the fur just looks horrible. These are definitely some of my earlier ones from last year. But here I was playing a lot with faces and trying to get familiar with how to draw faces. Look how bad this cat is. Oh my god. I mean, maybe if you look at it from this angle, it's not so bad. But that's a pretty bad looking cat. So yeah, this was mostly, these sketchbooks are all for experimentation. You'll notice this one here is actually a sketchbook video that I did. You can see that this was in January, so you can see that my progression for drawing faces is getting a little bit better. Watercolor sketchbook is quite handy, especially if you're experimenting with watercolors, so I would definitely recommend getting one of these bad boys. I have no idea what's in this sketchbook here. This is so old. Oh. Okay, so this was in, I don't know if it's this was in 2016, but I actually didn't date it, so I don't really know what month this was, but this must have been really, really early in the year. I really was not good here. Practicing how to draw faces. So we've got some more bunny characters. Oh gosh. Trying to draw some male figures as well. Look, he looks so feminine. Ooh, I like this one actually. This is Superman. He's quite handsome. I started to experiment with a lot of color, not with a lot of colors, I was experimenting with the line work and also with the sort of colors, like the one, kind of like having one or two colors in the actual drawing. And this was actually when I started, when I had bought my Copic markers for the first time. And I was really experimenting with the Copic, drawing illustrations with Copic markers. I think they turned out quite cute, and I was actually having a lot of fun with this. God, horrible proportions. Little bunny. There's always a bunny. Always a bunny. Now this one here is actually starting to turn out a little bit good in the sense that I was starting to get the proportions a little bit correct in terms of not drawing the eyes too big, and the nose here is a little bit too low. I was starting to really kind of grasp the idea of drawing a human face, and also the playing around with the shadows, especially with Copic markers. So I was starting to sort of develop that sort of technique. And yeah, this was starting to just come by the act of drawing or sketching. Oh, that's so creepy. What was I doing? Here we've got another drawing. You can see the proportions are completely off. The eyes are way too big. And it's funny looking back on things, you realize you're like, when you're at the point of drawing this, you're like, okay, it's actually turning out good. And then when you look back on it, maybe 3 months down the line, you're just like, what happened? Here's the infamous fox girl. Not infamous so much, but this was in a live stream and I had a lot of fun doing this. So you can see all of the colors that I did for kind of like testing the markers together to try to get a perfect skin tone in terms of shadows and highlights and midtones. And I did the same for the fox, although the fox was really hard to draw. And actually I think that the sketch turned out much better than the actual drawing. I don't really know how that happened, but that happened. Oh my gosh, here's another live one. This looks so bad. I can redo this completely different now. It's insane. This was what, dated November 25th, 2016. And it wasn't so long ago. It was like 9 months, I think. Looking back on it, I can see definitely what I could improve on. Alright, so I'm back at my desk and I'd like to take a look at some of the most recent drawings that I've been doing. Recent sketches, I should say, and just to kind of show the contrast between what you guys just saw in the older sketchbooks, which was dated last year, and what has been going on this year, what I've been doing for the past few months, and kind of showing sort of the progression, what's happening. I've been working hard at it and I've been noticing changes. I've been really noticing some changes. So let's take a look. Now this sketchbook here, I bought it it's like the little one that I showed you previously. The exact same size. I just bought this at it's not even an art store. It's in Germany. It's called Mick Paper. And I just bought the little ones. Basically starting off, in terms of what I really want to achieve as someone who's growing as an artist, I want to get better at drawing faces. That's it. Right now I'm focusing on female faces, although I'm trying to incorporate male ones as well. It's a little bit harder. I should probably be practicing both, to be honest with you, but I'm really liking the aesthetic of just drawing a female face. I got this sketchbook, actually I really don't know. I think, yeah, I got it at the beginning of April. Yeah, okay, so I got the sketchbook in April. So this is like the progression within the past what month are we? Yeah, 2 months, I would say. 2 months. So this is the first drawings, and you can see already it's a little bit of a difference between last year's sketches of faces. Now if we progress, I started just sketching some males here, especially the profile, because I really love like the big kind of rugged angular features of a male. Another male, working with angles here, but I mean this was like the beginning of April 2nd, and I have barely practiced dudes. I cannot draw dudes, so here I'm practicing eyeballs because eyes are so hard. Yeah, I'm practicing eyes. You can see a lot of weird ones here. These ones are not so bad, but I'm really trying to find that style, and I think the style of practicing how to draw eyeballs comes naturally, and it's just gonna come at a progression as you keep drawing. This is this is also quite bad. Oh, my camera's out of focus. Come on, pick it up. This was the beginning of May, actually. So the beginning of this past month. Starting to play with a lot of the Copics again. Sketching with markers is really important for me because I want to get better at it. So I'm making a big deal at sketching with markers. But you can really see here, I mean, her face is totally off. This was very quick. And the line work also. The line work is not that good, guys. It's not that good. At this point in time, this month is really like the past May is when I've been really trying to focus on improving the line work. So that's a big kind of one. And again, drawing faces, kind of developing some sort of concept style art. This one looks a bit weird. I was wanting to kind of go, again, I love doing realism, I love doing realistic things, but at the same time, it's just like, it doesn't really work with the style that I'm developing for some reason. I don't know. So she has a bit of a funny face angle. I kind of like it, I kind of don't. I don't really know. But again, I'm sticking with the markers and incorporating the polychromos that I always draw with. But you can notice that I'm starting to kind of branch away from working with the Faber-Castell polychromos. I'm working primarily with I'm working too much. I'm working primarily with markers at this point. I'm just trying to learn. So here we've got another concept sketch, and she's starting to look good. I kind of like it. I like the angle. I like the kind of, yeah, the angle of the face and her expression, her kind of eye makeup a little bit. And I think that at this point, so this is May 5th, I'm starting to loosen up a lot. And I think that's the trick, that's the key. The key, you gotta loosen up. You gotta keep your wrist very loose. I'm using also a kind of mechanical pencil here, and this is what I've really been using, and it actually changed the way that I've been sketching. So I can go really loose, keep my lines very thin, so I don't have to constantly sharpen my pencil, and I can just literally sketch away, and it's fantastic. And you can see that my line movement is becoming much more free, and that is a good thing. So train your wrist, guys. But again, that comes with practice. Here's another one where style is a little bit, I mean, I'm kind of going on the cartoon sense, it seems like. I don't hate it. I mean, it's kind of cool. Yeah, this is horrible. Now this one is quite interesting. I drew her in bed. She's again concept art. I drew her in bed while I was watching, I don't even remember what I was watching. It doesn't really matter, but I was watching something and I drew her in bed. There was like this trend happening where it was what was it called? Like on Instagram, it was like mermaid, where you drew mermaids for the month of May. And I wanted to participate, but I was just like, but I drew her hand. I know I got some comments on the hand, but guys, I never draw hands, like never. But I'm trying, I'm starting to try, and I'm really liking kind of like working with the shadows and the angles and having long flowing hair and incorporating the hair as part of the concept. I think it's quite interesting. Now these two ladies, again, are just sketches. I'm incorporating a little bit of color in here, and you can see some of my line, like the line work is getting a little bit thicker at certain points, and that's where I'm just kind of experimenting with certain things, how to incorporate line work to really enhance shadows, basically. Here, I think that she looks really good. I think maybe in another 6 months, I'm probably gonna say something completely different. But she's, I mean, yeah, it's a huge improvement to where I was like 6 months ago, 9 months ago. It's a huge improvement. I actually didn't date this. I should, oh God, I hate when I don't date things. But this is probably like mid-May, I would say at this point. Something that I'm also learning how to do is to keep things simple. Simple. Keeping things simple has always been a challenge for me because I want to do it all. I want it to be very detailed. I want it to be very colorful, and keeping it simple is like the biggest challenge, if not like, I think one of the top actually, because complexity, sometimes simple is much better, and complexity tends to ruin something. It could ruin something very quickly. Here's another little illustration. I could probably work a lot more on the shadows here and enhancing a lot of the features. Now, what I want to kind of say, this is my latest drawing here. This is my last drawing that I did. And here I'm whoa, yeah. So you're gonna see that the style is really developing in terms of color-wise. Just the way that I'm drawing. This is again very loose. It's a sketch. It's a color sketch. And it's playing with different colors, trying to find what works with what, and trying to find some sort of like playing a lot with the angles, especially around kind of the chest area and the way that the face looks, and also the hair. I really like angles, guys. I'm liking my angles. Also incorporating some new textures. So I'm using glitter paint, and I'm also using this embellishment mousse, which is a new product that I just received in the mail, and I'm going to be doing a tutorial video on this. It's quite cool. It's really cool. But yeah, so this is sort of like where I'm at right now, working with, instead of just black fine liner, I'm incorporating rather color, kind of a nice soft purple. I also have blue and pink, and then working with the Copic markers and or other brands that I have. You know, you have a vision of what you want to achieve and which direction you want to go into, but it seems like what's happening to me right now is that as I'm evolving, as I keep drawing, the style that I'm developing is actually not really the direction that I wanted to go into. But I'm not really mad at it, and it's actually quite nice. It's a fun adventure. It's really fun. It's really fun. I think you guys heard enough about my sketching adventures. Alright, so we're gonna end this video on this note. So thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and follow my social media accounts, which is listed down below in the video description. I do have a giveaway on my YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Do follow these social media accounts. You will see the giveaway, and do enter. It's free. Just enter and have fun with it. I want to wish you guys a lovely day, and I will see you guys very soon.